This podcast is certified fresh. Freshmediaworks.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Marketing Drive. I'm Chris Daly, and this is the show where I use my commute time to talk about one actionable marketing idea, one tip, one trick, one tidbit. Yeah, today I'm going to break down some of the data on different social media platforms and how you can use them, how you should use them, and if you even should use them at all, right? First, let's talk about TikTok. Yeah, that's the one everybody's all excited about, right? The demographics are good. I think something like 27% or more make over $100,000. So if you're selling to them, you've got an audience who can spend some money. They're into about 30% of the market. It has super, super high discoverability, but growth is hard because the algorithm gets you caught in kind of a kind of a loop of a silo of the types of creators. So it's hard to discover new ones after you're a regular user. But you can't go very deep, right? Although they're tweaking the algorithm to give longer form content some priority, it's still about 15 seconds is the average video. It's also very low conversion, and it's low conversion for a couple reasons. One, the average one is 15 seconds. How much can you sell something, right? I mean, how good of a job can you do of convincing your audience to press purchase or to call you or to go to your website? It's really difficult, but it's also because they have just hoard themselves out selling products on there. It seems like a third or more of all the content out there right now is people, quote unquote, reviewing products. Oh, you should get this one before it sells out. Oh, this is an amazing one. And, after a while, those get old and you just skip them. You don't even watch them anymore. You watch the first couple, right? But, So, overall, if you're looking for a platform where you're trying to sell something, especially something high ticket, whether it's services or a high ticket product, I don't think TikTok is a very good channel at all. It's fine if you want to become TikTok popular with some dance moves, but if you're selling stuff, stay away from TikTok. YouTube's another one that is good, actually. It's great for selling something because you can deep dive a lot more. The average video there is 8.5 minutes. That gives you a lot of opportunity. The algorithm also makes you very discoverable, which is good. More than 80% of the U.S. population regularly uses YouTube, so that's good. It is the second largest search engine in the world. Conversion, again, is okay. People are not looking to YouTube for products. They're looking to YouTube University, right? To go figure out how to change the spark plug in your weed eater. Or, how to, build a chicken coop, whatever it is. There's a lot of people looking things up to learn. So again, if you're training something, if you're selling a course on how to do some big task and you can shoot a 5-minute video that gives them a taste of it, yeah, that makes sense because that could convert into somebody paying for your entire course. But even though the average video is 8.5 minutes, the average viewing time on a single video, 90 seconds. Yeah, that means you've got to catch them quick. You've got to hit it really quick to get something from it. And again, so if it's the right customer, it's a good fit. What about X, or formerly Twitter? Well, again, about a third of them make over 100,000. So you've got some decent reach. It's got smaller market share by far, whereas YouTube at 80% of the market share, X only 22% have it. The difference there, it's a lot more viral, easier to go viral with an interesting take. But the problem is people are more likely to be successful if it's hyperbolic or if it's breaking news or if it's news related. Now, if you're just saying what a great product you have, yeah, that's not going viral. It's not. And the conversion's not that great because, again, people are not there to buy something. So it's okay. It's okay. It's a great medium to point somebody to something else. Use a clip. Use something like Opus Clips. Grab a piece of something a piece of a video about something you're selling and a link to where to go get it. That is useful. What about LinkedIn? LinkedIn, good demographics in terms of income. Over 50% make 100K or more. About a third of the U.S. is on LinkedIn right now. It's really networking on steroids, right? It's highly targeted audience, which is very nice because you can specifically reach out to specific people. The problem is what's happening with all these bots and all these AI services. I say that in quotes. It was very high conversion for B2B conversations. In fact, I've done a lot of business on LinkedIn, selling ads on podcasts, helping people start their podcasts, you name it, made great connections. But as these bots, as this AI algorithm comes in and starts to spam everybody with their services, the conversion is plummeting right now. It is going way down. So I wouldn't use it as a place to sell something. I would use it as a place to make connections. That's it. Instagram's another good one. Over half of the people on it make over 100K. Market share's good. Close to half the U.S. is on it. The growth is pretty high, mostly because of Reels. Just like when in Facebook, Reels do really well. Conversion works really well because it built into the system. If you're trying to sell something, you can actually hit a button here to buy now. So that's helpful. It's a good place if you've got a product to sell. Not so great for services, but again, good for making some connections. I mentioned Facebook because of Reels. Facebook is really making a comeback. It really is. There's a lot of people in marketing that have said, look, Facebook is dead. And it has died a lot, but it's got the best demographics. Almost 70% of the users make over 100K. 70% of the U.S. is on Facebook. And thanks to Reels, that growth is happening more and more. Again, the problem with short form video is it's churn and burn. It's burn and churn, whatever you want to call it. It is not good for in-depth stuff. The average session somebody spends watching something is 53 seconds. Yeah, you can't do a whole lot. So conversion's good if you have something dramatic to sell, but you do better with Facebook ads, and those are not cheap. But what about podcasts? Of course, I'm going to say I love podcasts, but the numbers are there too, right? So again, half the people listening make over 100K. More than 65% of the public listens to podcasts now. The growth is slow. It is much slower. You do not go viral. It is not going to happen, right? Unless you launch your show with Elon Musk as your first guest. That's the only way to grow really fast. So it's a slow and steady wins the race kind of situation. But it's the deepest of every one of these platforms. It is extremely deep. The average listening time is over 25 minutes. Nobody touches that. YouTube videos don't come close, as you heard earlier. Nothing comes close to the average listening duration of over 25 minutes. That means your audience is locked in. They know you. And while most podcast listeners don't listen to hundreds and hundreds of them, like on TikTok, you see hundreds of different presenters, and that's because you don't control it. I mean, yeah, you can choose who to follow, but most of the time you spend your time in the For You section anyway. But with podcasts, yeah, people don't, because they're more time intensive. You don't follow hundreds and hundreds of podcasts. You have a handful of ones that you are loyal to. You feel like they're your friend. You feel like this is a relationship. And that's why the conversion is so good. It has a hiccup in the convenience. You can't just click a button and say buy now. But because the trust is so much higher when they've been listening to you for months and years, when a host tells you to do something, yeah, chances are you're going to follow through because you believe them. It's like talking to a friend of yours that says, yeah, go check out these shoes, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, email. Don't forget email. That is still the gold standard. Just because 92% of the public uses email, growth, again, very, very low because you can't spam anymore. That's not going to happen. It's very targeted. You have to choose specifically who you want to reach or get them to sign up or opt in to your newsletter. The open rate is amazing compared to other platforms. The only thing that comes close to an open rate is podcasts, which beats it because people are waiting for the podcast. But conversion is really good in email. If you get an email from somebody you've subscribed to and you've already got sort of a relationship with, it's so much easier for you to click a link and make a purchase. So I would say the gold standard obviously is podcast, but regardless of what you use, have email involved as well. So there you go. There's some hard numbers on some different platforms out there. Let me know what your experience is. And until next time, keep it real.
You've been listening to The Marketing Drive with Chris Daly. To learn more about how Chris can help your company get more customers, call 713-269-4620 or visit us on the web at freshmediaworks.com.